guys! Thanks for joining me for another Pixie Talks review vlog.
Pixie Talks, reviews and vlogs at Pixie Talks. Pixie Talks, reviews and vlogs at Pixie Talks.
Woo! No more Halloween. I will miss the Loki getup, but it's time to move on. So I've been doing a fair bit of reading these last few months, especially since I've been mercilessly teased about this new high-rise movie that's coming out soon and wanted to know what all the fuss was about. So I figured it was time to do another combo video. So today I'll be discussing 3 novels that I have recently finished reading. And as it would happen, they all have a similar theme running through them: the corruption of humanity and troubling misdeeds. Starting with High Rise.
Yes, I was rather expecting to find a certain kind of anonymity.
So High Rise is a film that I've been very much anticipating. It stars Tom Hiddleston in the role of a man who moves into a high-rise, a luxury apartment complex that is so large that it is self-contained. It houses its own grocery stores, swimming pools, gyms, and other such amenities, rendering the building itself its own little miniature city and ecosystem. Now, the film has been going to a few different film festivals, but has not yet been released for a larger audience, which is absolutely killing me. But I have been warned that one should really read the book before seeing the movie anyways, as the book is really quite violent and gruesome, so I decided it would be best to get to know the story a little bit before the movie comes out. Besides which, it's just nice to have read a book before seeing its adaptation anyways. High Rise by J.B. Ballard is about dystopian society and the breakdown of culture and civilization. The High Rise has a more and more increasingly rigid class system in place, self-imposed by the tenants. The rich occupy the upper floors, and the lower class live on the lower floors. And as the story progresses, tension between the floors rise to anarchistic levels, progressing into all-out chaos in the high-rise as society crumbles and the laws of the jungle take root. Now I can see why it was important to read this book first before the movie hits theaters. Fair warning is fair warning, and this is not a happy fun times novel. It explores the breakdown of structured civilization in a fascinating way, and there's an awful lot of violence as people struggle to survive within the high-rise. That said, it is a beautiful and elaborate piece exploring the human nature. How does man struggle against man, against himself, and against a restrictive society that runs deeply counter to his own baser instincts? It is one of the most breathtaking novels I have read in a long time, and although it is often quite disturbing, it is also deeply thoughtful and philosophical. A cautionary tale and a gritty picture of the darker nature lurking within us all. Which brings me to The Love Garden. The Love Garden by David Blackburn is a self-published novel recently released on Amazon as an ebook. A man named Sid finds his life turned upside down when a strange and sensual woman named Carly enters his life. Carly is adventurous and attractive, but she is as mysterious as she is intelligent. As their relationship progresses, she becomes more and more controlling and manipulative, and Sid will find his life permanently altered by her presence as he continues to try to unravel the mystery that is Carly. It is generally a pretty slice-of-life-y drama, as a large portion of the story takes place over the quiet moments of life. Morning coffees and long baths with wine as the characters share the small moments together. But it is also saturated with a lingering kind of suspicion and an almost unsettling mystery hitting great horror notes. There's just a great amount of anxiety hanging over the events that unfold, keeping the reader just on the edge of uncomfortable even during the most innocent of scenes. It's a story about sex, life, and death. It's almost like an inversion of the gothic romance genre, featuring a young innocent man and a girl with a haunted past and more than a few skeletons in her closet. What's fascinating about it is the way that it explores psychology and human desire. All of the characters are very driven by their own selfish desires and lusts, and Carly's story takes a few very interesting turns that actually totally manage to surprise me. What happens when the ugliness of humanity is left unchecked? When does victim become something uglier itself? It's a beautifully dark and bittersweet narrative that is as gripping as it is disturbing. Which brings us to my last title, Salem's Lot.
Jason, do you believe a thing can be inherently evil?
Now, while I loved the Salem's Lot movie from 1979, I hadn't actually read the book until just now. And if I enjoyed the movie, I fell headlong in love with the novel. If you watched my top 5 favorite vampire movies video from last week, you will recall that I discussed a bit about the use of the vampire myth as an allegory for our fear of our own selves and our darker natures. And that is very prominent in Salem's Lot. The novel by Stephen King concerns a sleepy little small town in Maine full of your average, hard-working Americans. But just underneath the surface of the town's happy smiles, you find a lot of much darker secrets. Cheating wives, underhanded deals, and old traumas long locked away to be forgotten. It seems there's not a person in the lot that doesn't have a skeleton or two in the closet. And that's all before the vampire comes to roost in the haunted house up on the hillside. The point is that the townsfolk are struggling with evil already, and the vampire preys on their desires and fears quite expertly. And honestly, I have rarely read better vampire dialogue than Barlow. Barlow is the epitome of a chilling vampire antagonist, and his power is in his ability to feed off of a person's baser instincts and tell them exactly what they want to hear. You want that girl, but she rejected you? I can help you get her. You work hard and your boss doesn't appreciate you enough. Don't you want the power to show him a thing or two? In a stunningly beautiful dance of words, the vampire is just the excuse that these people were looking for to justify their own lusts and desires, and the town gets destroyed because of it. It's a beautiful exploration of the human condition with as chillingly inconclusive an ending as you could ever want. At first glance, these novels might seem a little bit bleak, but each of them in turn presents a glimmer of hope as well, like the first ray of sunshine glimpsed through the clouds after a storm passes. Narratives like this make us uncomfortable because they force us to self-evaluate, but if you can take it, they represent a large amount of light as well. They present hope that while humanity has an awful lot of corruption at its core, there is always a way to fight against it. Please consider checking out The Love Garden. It is an indie novel, so it could use all the love it can get. Be sure to add me on Facebook as well, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!